lose weight.
And in your professional expertise as a doctor, we've seen that the NHS is now considering using apps to enable people to take part in weight loss programs, including being able to use the jab. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think the issue here is about accessibility. So if there's always, I listened to beforehand, there's always a risk of there being overprescription or abuse of these medications, but people find it hard enough to get access to see a doctor. So if this would help someone who is morbidly obese and help add more life years to them, then this is something that would obviously have a benefit.
And what about the dangers? Some people have already started commenting, saying, look, if you're going to enable access to these jabs so easily, perhaps via an app, and again, we must stress that we don't know the exact particulars of how these apps are going to work just yet, but we are discussing whether or not, let's say, people who don't really need the jab are getting hold of the jab. Is it dangerous for someone who doesn't really need the jab to be on the jab? Can it have any health repercussions?
Well, yes, so we're talking about abuse of any kind of drug, so too much of any drug can be a concern. I particularly worry about the use in people with disordered eating and people who don't get it from a reputable source. So deregulation of these medications is a big issue. The medications have passed trials. I think there is a problem with weight loss not being what equal, so not actually losing fat. You can also lose muscle mass and bone density, so you're at risk of osteoporosis. That's also put you at risk as well.
And just a comment on what Peg was saying just earlier, Doctor, it's all very well that perhaps you reduce your appetite, that leads to satisfactory weight loss, but does that mean that you'll have to be on this jab for the rest of your life?
Hello.
Because as Peg was saying, and Krista pointed to it as well, there might be some other problems lying behind why you feel the need to eat. And is the jab the answer to that?
So, yes and no. So, the answer whether you could be on the medication long term is probably not, just because a lot of people, this is what helps them lose enough weight to start doing physical exercise. So I often see patients who have knee pain and joint pain and can't do the recommended walks or steps, and this helps them lose that weight and then develop healthy habits. The other thing as well is something called Orphan effect. The fact that you have a period of time monitoring yourself means that you're more likely to continue that behaviour. So no, it can be seen as a short to mid-term thing to help you reduce weight. I wouldn't say, I think you can use it more long term. I think something can come off it.
I'm only on for a short time, guys.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
It's really
shout out
helpful.
to everyone in Ballyer, Cherry Orchard, you up the Ballyer, here, wherever you're coming.
Stay at home. Heather in Merseyside.
And I'm
Heather,
going
good
to
afternoon.
interview some of me
What
old
do you think about
fucking
the
friends.
accessibility of this jab, making it easier for
Yeah.
people to get hold of it? Do you think
And
that's a
like
good
I
thing?
said, you know, you are the company you keep.
Not really my concern
And my
at the
company is
moment.
smaller than a
It's the
fucking
fact that
wedding
my
ring.
daughter is
And I like it that way,
given
you know.
this jab for her
Like,
diabetes.
When you're an alpha,
And the
that's
consequence
how
of
it is.
it, the last 9 months, she's managed to lose 3 stone, and the diabetes is much more under control. We've been told by the doctor now, but it won't
You
be
can
available
try and run away from your past sometimes, but you know what?
For at least 12 months.
It can do you a lot of damage when you run away from who you are and where you're from, and you know, and I've been a fucking idiot over a 6-year period on an app called YouTube, and this one, and I have a few friends in Ireland, a couple, who I've never called out to over the years, and now I have, and it took me 6 years, built my own little studio upstairs as a plan B, just in case I had to go back to basics, back to baseline, back to Ballyer. And I know a lot of my old friends suffer terrible with mental health, and they won't admit it to anybody, because where I'm from, it's cartel land. Fucking nothing alleged about it. You do as you're told. Know your role. Don't tell on anyone. If you see someone getting hit with a golf stick, you didn't see it. that's the politics, you know. And if you did say it, that's going to become a problem for you or people close to you. Like, it's no joke, you know. And over the years, I've watched Christmas time, and there's people fuck off, no chance. Uh, there's a lot of people that aren't here anymore, and I was lucky enough to know a few of the chaps around the city. I don't answer to Amadons, I answer to Dons. I'm a son of Ballyer, I'm a soldier of Ballyer. And Jude McDonald's straight out of fucking Ballyer. And a lot of my friends that I left behind, that's what I feel like I did, but I had to be selfish, you know. It was me kids or me mates, and me kids come before any of me mates even birthed. You know, but I made the right decision because I'm alive. I'm no longer a heroin addict. I don't take cocaine anymore. I take the prescribed medication I'm on. I'm working on myself. I have a couple of life coaches helping me, believe it or not. Not helping me, just advising me. And because I started doing my podcast, this particular individual says to me, bro, I want you on my podcast and what have you. And we'll go from there, and then we'll go again to another one and there. And slowly, I'll build my own audience on StreamYard. And as long as I know Ballyferm is watching, I'm proud. Because if I wasn't a son of Ballyer, a soldier of Ballyer, if I wasn't straight out of Ballyer, there's loads of guys that could come on here and tell me, here, he's lying. You know, but here, I never lied about anything. Like I said, skill's always in session, and you have to understand something. You have to control that aggression. I'm not messing. This is a fucking lesson. Do you understand? Call it a blessing. I am the fucking riddler, not the fiddler. Skill's always been in session. And if you've not been listening to my lesson, how can I help you with your aggression? You know, you're at home effing and jeffing, stressing. Do you understand? Let me help you. I can be your priest. Confession. And that's from straight out of Ballyer. Call it a blessing. Shout out to everybody in. You understand? Now you can see the colour I represent and the bee. I never called anybody out on YouTube because where I'm from, we don't call you out. We'll just hit you with a brick in the face when we see it, or hit you with anything we have. Now, I've had to walk away from that mentality. I walked away from future security, like money, reputation, all that shit. But you know what, the truth be told, you're a product of your environment, and every one of my mates that wanted the same dream as me, easy money, fast life, in, out, boom, gone. But you get people that are too loud and too greedy, and that's what catches them, you know. And once you start taking your own shit, like if you look at in life, in anything, if you take drugs, you're jeopardizing your health, and you're not just affecting you, you're affecting your whole family, you know. And it took me many years, it took me decades to realise me role. You see, I'm a known on YouTube, but when I take these glasses off, all I see stood in front of me is me. And me has always been my biggest opponent, biggest fucking hurdle. Terrified me of myself. Just in case I did do it, and I'm gonna end up, no one wins in this situation. Skill's always been in session for me. It's like, I was skill yard trained in a way, Like when you grow up in rough areas, you know who all the shotters are, you know who all the head boys are, you know all that nonsense right now. I walked away from that lifestyle, okay? And it was the best decision I ever made because my son, I raised him different to the way we were raised, different to the way me, Harpo, Bert, Whitey, Pat McGuire, Dewlin, he was always a clever cunt, him man, wouldn't even smoke. Alan Dunphy, Wayne MacDonald, all the Moonies, all the Lions, just the Deco, Snuggles, Glenn, Ian, you know, Chris Shannon, who else? All the girls that everyone that used to pile around beside my old house. It's like, I left at 18 because I made a lot of bad decisions and it was on me, nobody else. My father worked all his life. My father was ashamed of me because he gave me the tools to be able to sustain myself when I was 13. It took me 5 years to learn, but believe me, see me and I put my mind to all do. You know, and a lot of me fucking mates in Ballier are too stubborn to fucking say they have mental health issues. Well, here, I'm coming back, right, and I already know. And you know what? I don't even have to leave my house to go straight back to Ballier. I'm already there. Here, it's there, and it's here, right? I'm a son of Ballier, I'm a fucking soldier of Ballier, and I'm straight out of Ballier, and a lot of me mates are straight out of Ballier, you know, a lot of guys I looked up to, a lot of guys I mimicked. I was a proper sheep, a proper follower, and I would do anything to be one of the boys. And a lot of the boys up there will tell you, I was a crash test dummy. I was probably me and another ginger cunt, Gibbo. Yeah, he fucked me over, and it was his fault. But anyway, he's dead now, so you're clear with the gaff, you know what I mean, as far as I'm concerned. I don't like having regret on mounted. I don't like having regrets. But unfortunately, sometimes in life, you know, it's like regret only hits us when we're like that in a cell with our hands in our head saying, fucking hell, man, what am I doing? What am I gonna do, man? You know, and then you get a copper chucking a fucking firearms charger to and yeah, the thing wasn't even mine, you know. But I couldn't fucking say that to them, could I? The bastards had me. I'd about 16. Now I'm going back to when I was 21, right? Because I went to England at 18 and I come back because when the ex was pregnant, she wanted to have Dylan in the rotunda, and that's what happened. I come back and I care. At that time I was like, fuck that. So you go to the baker and you say to the baker, here, I want 10 loaves, when are you going to pay for them? Give me 7 days. And you sell your bread, sometimes you might get the butter out and you might even have a slice yourself. You know, but remember one thing, you take work and you renege on that, you will be checked. Now, I've had to take my mind back to Ballyfermot. Some of the most horrific times, some of the most best times. You know, I've seen a lot of my mates get beatings. You know, here, I took a couple myself, but you know what? The truth be told, it was my own fucking fault. You know, I was doing stupid shit, man. You know, but I brought trouble to my own front door. My fucking father had a heart attack. That was the Achilles heel for me. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And at 21, I found myself in a cell on a heroin and a firearms charge. It it wasn't even mine. It's like, but look at, the feds find heroin in your gaff and they find a firearm. Yeah, hand in hand. It's not mine. Like the cop hasn't heard that how many times. That's not mine. You know, I was handcuffed to me fucking radiator. I was trying to pull the fucking radiator off the wall, man. Larry Duggan was the detective, and Yvonne Banbury, Star Street detectives, right? So they had me handcuffed in the bathroom. Next of all, I hear the copper going, gun! And I went, it's not fucking mine, you know, here. And here we had these false silencers. You know them silence panels where you can just push up and hide something. The night before, I'm not going to say who it was, but a lad from Cabra, he was minding something for it, and he fucking hit it in mine. And the next morning, on me kid's ma's 21st birthday, bang! I was out on bail for selling heroin. Bang! You know what I mean? And I ramming the door. I woke up. I panicked at first, because there was like just under 16 ounces beside me. And I mean, they were hitting that door. They were getting in any second. I hadn't got much time to think. So I just fucking got me shit, but they were all in parcels. I was at that bagging up 40 yolks, like two 20-pound parcels. You know, 20, you know yourself anyway. Here, Radox. It's like, just as I got it up, it's like, I was emptying it down the toilet, I got rushed, handcuffed, Glock pointed at me. I was like, what are you going to do with that? Here, put that away. You haven't even got your safety on. Fucking idiots. But I was the fucking idiot, not them. You know. I was the scumbag drug dealing, selling motherfucker. And I lived in Mountjoy Square, just at Frederick Street, Mountjoy Square, right beside the park there. Yeah, and when you have kids, you have to do things that you don't want, and nobody was going to give me a fucking job. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have you got a criminal? Yeah. Record? I do. For what? Selling drugs and a gun. But listen, the gun wasn't mine, and that makes it sound so much worse. But the way I was raised here, and I proved that, and a lot of my mates up in Ballier, I'll tell you, here, they remember the good times. And do you remember when I got fucked up? And that was my own fault. You know, it wasn't the IRA who beat me up. Like PD come on YouTube, I was on the cesspit helping Matthew grow his audience, and, you know, his words, I was the massacre. Yeah, cause people were giving them loads of shit at the time, you know what I mean? And Film Boy opened up his life, you know, and the cesspit was very successful. Brought a lot of people together, and it also fucking separated a lot of people. Do you understand? This is what happens on YouTube. You get jumpers, you know what I mean, that jump and jump and jump on channels who are spanner whores, who sit in channels waiting for someone to say something. You know, how fucking sad is that? You know, really? Here, know you're fucking rolling, I know mine. I'm a son of Ballier. I'm a soldier of Ballier, and here, Joe McDonald is straight out of fucking Ballier. Now you know, I wasn't joking. You see, that's when never underestimate anybody, and never think you're better than anybody. Especially when that somebody is a self-confessed nobody on YouTube, and I'm not. There's a few men on YouTube that are very good at YouTube. They're very good with talking with their mouth, but they can't back it up with their hands, or their head, or their knee, or their elbow, or their right foot. I'd kick head kick, bang. You know why? Because I've been educated on that discipline, where If I don't see your guard up, you're getting well head kicked. I used to do it to control me anxiety and control, because it's like when you're a very violent person, when you start. Now here's the thing, right? I'm on a lot of antipsychotics, right? So sometimes one of the side effects is like rage, fucking carnage. You know, you can go to the Amazon, the top of Everest, you can go to fucking Timbuktu, like I said, to escape, to get away from your past, to forget. But here, all it takes is a certain thing to be said to certain people that suffer with mental health issues, and it just goes off. Like an atomic bomb. Except for you can control the blast radius yourself. Containment, it's called. I remember a very good man tried to teach me patience, discipline, and always loyalty to the fullest. Hey Paul, and I've always had them principles, even from when I left my old housing estate to now, except for I ran away from all that lifestyle. You know, I was one of the first to start it. Well, I didn't start it, I was just a skivvy, a spoke on a fucking wheel. Like Donny said it in fucking whatever it's called, Donny Brasco. And I had a good group of mates that I knew would never tell on me, even if you battered them in the back of a van, suffocated them with a plastic bag, with your hands tied behind your back and your feet. What you meant to do. So I put myself in that situation. So that was on me. So whatever happened that day, I was good with it. I believed I was going to be killed that day. And after being fucked up, do you know what they said? Jewett, I didn't want to do this. It's business. It's not personal. And I got it, you know. And I get it to this day. Music. At 8 years old, I used to be taken into a studio every Sunday with my father. Shout out to Luke Gilligan for going into the Irish archives, the music over there for me. That was like a gift from beyond the grave, you know. Luke Gilligan, he found my father's old schedule, because my dad interviewed Johnny Cash, Sinead O'Connor and Tammy Wynette, Paul, right? Now, he done it on a voluntary basis. He worked 6 days a week, and on his day off, he was in that studio for 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours on a Sunday, to play songs for sick people, because my dad knew that music helps the soul, the spirit. It helps you remember good times and bad times. But see, music it's like an antidepressant. Music is it's like a key, like a skeleton key. Whatever genre, whether it be dance, grime, rap, drill, garage, hardcore, fucking techno, fucking. Now, like I said, my dad used to use me as an excuse on a Sunday. He'd say, I'm gonna bring Jude in the studio. That meant he was going for a few points afterwards, which there's nothing wrong with, you know. And I've always tried to live up to his standards, Paul, you know. But how can I interview Johnny Cash, Sinead O'Connor and fucking Tammy Wynette? Because I think they're all dead, bro. And what can I do about that? You know, if they're all dead, how can I interview them? But like I said, my dad, he would have I know he'd the saying to me, Jude, don't you fucking dare do this. The podcast going back to Ballyer, because my dad always wanted me away from Ballyfermot, because he seen what Ballyer done to me, you know, and what did to him. My father found something belonged to somebody else in my home, and he fucking had a heart attack, and I caused that because I was selling drugs, and I was a selfish little prick. You know what I mean? Selfish little prick. You know, and I'm always tough on myself for that. But like I said, I'm a son of Ballyer, I'm a soldier of Ballyer, and I'm straight out of Ballyer. My hair looks fucked up, doesn't it? But mental health is my main topic, and I'm going to talk to a lot of my old friends about it. Now, a lot of my old friends, right, the media put labels on them, okay? Now, fuck the media. They tell lies a lot of the time. Now, I'm going to bring on people who do not speak to anyone. But we're on there to talk about music. See, you ask the wrong questions. You don't ask any of my old friends certain things, or you listen. It is what it is. But a lot of my friends, we have a lot of things in common at home. Number 1, mental health. Number 2, music. And number 3, loyalty. Number 4, integrity. Number 5, honourability. You understand? Integrity, intuition, discipline, patience, faith. Another psychopath walks into a bar and he decides whatever the joke is. Like Ronnie, yeah, I come here for a fucking shootout, and what are you gonna do with that? Bake me a fucking cake? Oh, you know that movie Legend about the Cray? It's fucking great. But nah, look at, I've always wanted to do something for my old community, because I've done it on my own community. My son is doing it on every community in this city. Not just this city, every other city. Yeah. Autism awareness, ACEs awareness. You see, my lad knew my story. And that's the reason why he went to uni and got a degree in psychology. You know, you have to understand, like, I share my son's stuff all the time. You know why? Because he is an achiever. He's a serial achiever. Do you understand? And he is helping hundreds of families with kids that have autism, learning difficulties, ADHD, kids that have spina bifida, all, a lot of children that have a lot of, you know, it's not like these services are put in place in order to contact families who struggle on a daily basis and sometimes need a break, and these organisations, that's what they can give you. You know, it's like a lot of people have kids that aren't diagnosed, and like my mother and father, they didn't know until later on. Obviously I was mentally unwell because of me temper. Certified 3 times by the city. Now, normally, like I said, I walked away from all that, and then I've had to go balls deep all the way back here to talk about music, mental health, and every kind of awareness, education awareness, because in life you have to be educated about every situation. Big up to Sean Wayne, Banter City, all day, you know. And you know, if there was a few more fucking Sean Waynes, YouTube would be a better place, man. Because Banter City I don't watch every video, but I do watch some. And I tell you one thing, bro, you're a fucking great cook. I'm a big fan of your work. You know. Now, Sean, as you know, I've been on here for ages. For fuck's sake, I'm 22 subs away from 400, guys. I need your help, but I know, listen, over the years, I've always wanted to do this, and I fucked it up every time, you know. But I give it a go, you know. And I'm not ashamed anymore to say where I'm from and who I am. I'm a no one on YouTube, right? But could you walk back to Cherry Orchard, roll up where all the boys are, and say, guess who's home? Yeah, I still have that courtesy, you see. I wasn't lying about that, motherfucker. All my mates allegedly are cartel members. I laugh at it, and they do too. But yeah, let me tell you one thing. Business and pleasure. Know the difference. Know your role. Don't underestimate anybody. Never think you're tougher than anybody. I'm not a tough guy. You're a hard man. I'm a hard man to fight. That's about it. But I do know a lot of tough guys, real life tough guys, what the media call cartel members. Alleged cartel members, do you understand? Cherry fucking Orchard. Google it. But, like I said, my story's already out there. And I'm gonna bring on a few Irishmen, a few Dublin men in fact. My granny used to say, Jude, never do drugs. But one thing, never doubt the dubs. And somebody motivated me. My son slapped me in the face and said, Dad, what the fuck? What the actual fuck is going on up here? You know what? You don't need to impress anyone on YouTube. You know, all your mates knows you in Cherry Orchard. You know, and the way they speak about you. You know. And it's very endearing when your old friends start popping up and saying, Jude, this will be deadly, and I'll be watching. Or, hey Pablo, Stevie, nah, look, right, yous all know, right, I do, sometimes I start stuff, and I'll forget about it. I can't help that. And I believe one day I'll have Alzheimer's. And listen, I've always known my own, but I have really bad mental health issues. And sometimes I don't go about it the right way, you know. But one thing I do know, order has been restored. Here, I'm a son of Ballier, right? I'm a soldier of Ballier, and Jude MacDonald is straight out of fucking Ballier. And yowza, one of my friends is going to Colombia to have that ayahuasca treatment, and it's a spiritual ritual. You drink this pungent fucking concoction made by the elders, which has been passed down to their sons, their sons, their sons, you follow? In certain villages, to become a man, you know what they make you do? Wear gloves with bullet ants in them, yeah? Loads of bullet ants. And that's another topic. But I have a lot of friends that have reached out to me and said, Jude, I'll come on your podcast. Now I'd fuck up a picnic, right? But we're going to give it a go. I want to shout out to Pablo, the best video maker on this community. And Pablo's probably the best friend I've ever had on social media. Not just social media, you know what I mean? Pablo and me, yeah, or class him. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, see Pablo, he's probably the closest one I have on YouTube. Not just YouTube, Instagram. And he's helped me so fucking much. He's pushed me. He's believed in me. And I had this ideology. I seen a film years ago where a man, Kevin Costner, mowed down all his crops because he had this fucking feeling, this eating feeling inside him that was consuming him, that was fucking overwhelming him. He kept seeing a fucking baseball pitch there. He seen it. And if you see it, you can fucking touch it. And here, if I see a target and I'm in standing distance, I'll hear it. I'll either hit it with that, or with that, or with that. Boom! Just like that. But Pablo, look at the other night, Yowza come on, Pat come on, and I had to apologise to them, bro, because I didn't stay on long. I was getting a bit anxious, and I was waiting for me group kind of thing. So, hello, brother. But look at a lot of my mates in Cherry Orchard, Pablo, they've got severe mental health issues and they won't talk to anyone because they're too proud. Oh, bro, listen, I'll tell you, Sean, I'm fucking delighted for you because I become a granddad as well. And it's fucking brilliant. You know, I have a little grandson and it's like, I'm 49 in 2 weeks and I screamed and shouted on YouTube for 6 years, right? And you've seen the worst of me. So, I made a calculated decision. YouTube is going to do YouTube and I'm going to do me. And by that, here, thanks for the people who said that I wouldn't do podcasts. It's a no-brainer for me. Here, can you pick up a phone, a bat phone, and go home and say, hello, honey, daddy's fucking home. You know the amount of people respect me up in Cherry Orchard. Still. Here, people evolve over time and people can change, you know, genuinely, but you have to want it. Here and here. Because there's no point in doing half a job. I'd fuck up a picnic. So, my mother told me to put my glasses on in a dream. And I understand now because I can see. I can see my reflection. I'm more aware that I am on life. And those days of screaming at people are no longer there. I know there's at least 50 lads in Ballyfermot that I can help, and I'm going to help, you know, because I know they will not admit it to anyone else. They might admit it to me, and whatever any of my friends tell me, it doesn't go anywhere. I don't share conversations. Like I always said, I never wanted to do this. YouTube made me do this. And some little midget that lives up in Liverpool who thinks, because he has a big platform. And shout out to me mods as well that has been going filling the tank up. I want to shout out to Sean Wayne, Stevie Billings, Pablo Escobar. Do you understand? Who else is in there? One sec. Paul C as well, yeah. Well, Pablo, like I said, I fuck up the picnic, right? But we're gonna give it a go. And the other night, I just wanted to, it was just like an experimental one, you know? And I'm ready. Do you understand? Pablo, you know how hard I've worked on this for 6 years, making a dickhead out of myself, and all I needed to do was that. But because of me pride and what have you, I didn't want to do it. I didn't know how to do it. Alright, bro, do you fancy coming on talking about fucking killing someone? Nah, you can't say that. Do you understand? But one thing I will fucking say, I have friends that have done more than 15 years in prison. I have friends who are doing life sentences all around the world, not just in the country. And most of it's been from allegedly drug smuggling, being caught with your fingers in the fucking cookie jar, whatever. It's transparent. It's even a blind Stevie Wonder can see where people go wrong. And it took the finest man I've ever known, being my son, to slap me in the face kind of and say, Dad, what the fuck are you up to, and what are you fucking, fuck these guys on YouTube. That's the only thing they're good at. Everything you do, Dad, you do it well. So why are you still trying to impress people? You don't need to do that shit. And because of a couple of dreams and a picture hit me in the head on my dad's birthday, it scared the bollocks out of me. And it's humbled me. I've always been humble, but like I said, new role, and now you're fucking role. Build it and they will come, and now they're gonna come. And I'll get better at it. Do you understand? I will not quit. And if someone tells me I can't do something here, I'm one of the very few that can go straight back to Ballier. Hang on a minute. Here comes the girls. Right guys, listen, I'm going to end me live, right? The girls are here, and I'll be back on this evening at about 5 o'clock, right?
Right, your jacket.
Yeah, hang on a minute, right? Right guys, listen, I'm going to have to go because my favourite girls in the world, they are here. I did say I'm not going to be doing continuous lives. I'm going to start bringing a few of the boys on. A few of the chaps who are like me. Bally farmer true and true. You see, I want you to see my uniform, which is here. But have no fear. We're going back to Ballyfermot, my dear. And we're going to help all the lads. Well, thanks very much, Sean. And that means a lot. Shout out to Banter City. Shout out to the best video maker on YouTube, Pablo Da Vinci. Shout out to Stevie Billings that has more names than anybody on the fucking planet. Shout out to Chopper. Shout out to Luke Gilligan. Shout out to Harpo. Shout out to Pat Carey. Shout out to Yoza. Shout out to Mark Cabinet. I'm so sorry, bro. I had you in the back the other night, but listen, we're gonna do this 3 times a week, and I'll get better. I'm on here to compete against myself, and there's a lot of my mates in Ballier that are too fucking proud. Too fucking proud. Here, me ma told me our pride doesn't feed you. Just like love. And I never wanted to do this, but YouTube's made me do it, so remember one thing, this is YouTube. You come on my stream here and you insult anyone in my panel or any of the boys. That's on you. Right? Joe McDonald's on, I'm done. Guramila Mahagut, in you come. Kate Mila Falcher, I have to run. Chuck, wait to hear this. Lil!
What?
Come here a sec.
What is it?
Alright, tell these the Irish you've learned. Wait to hear this. What Irish have you learned?
I'm eating.
Alright, come on then, I can still hear you. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Right, yeah, tell me what you've learned in Irish.
So,
What? Come on. Come on.
chocolate
What does that mean?
means I will they look up.
Okay.
And
Erin. Erengabra.
and Gabra.
What does that mean? Ireland
Island
forever.
and River.
Duke MacDonald is on doing. What does that mean? My name is Duke MacDonald, yeah? Here, what? When I'm talking all the time, what's the word to tell me to shut up? Yeah? Tunis and what? Down your veil. Guys, I'm living the fucking dream. It's real. No fairy tale. I want to shout out to all you who back me from day fucking one. And it's all led to this. So, Ballyer, here we go. I'm one of the very few that can do this. So I'm going to do it. Because I have loads of friends up there that suffer with mental health. And here, when you're labelled a cartel member, labelled a tough guy, labelled a gangster, all that shit doesn't impress me. And it doesn't impress me, mates. Society has always put labels on me and my friends. But one thing is for sure. If you do your crime and you do the time, you are clear with the house, amigo. You are even with you're even with the house. And if you become a law-abiding citizen like a lot of my friends, but I know a lot of them have mental health issues, and I'm only one of none that can go back there and can fucking have a private chat with them and say, listen, this is what I've learned. You know, I can help you with panic attacks, anxiety, whatever. If you're not education aware about everything in life, you're gonna fail before you even start. Baby steps. Never hit your kids. Never hit your missus. Do you understand? Men don't do that. My granny always told me that. Anyway, I'll see you at 6. No, I'll be back at 5 tonight, guys. And I'll be opening my StreamYard for an hour and a half tonight.